Hi, my name is Alexa Storms. I am a senior music technology major at the University of Central Missouri. And for my senior seminar project, I wanted to do something a little different with COVID-19 and everything kind of going on lockdown. And changed my original project changed. So I needed to come up with an alternative. And I had a really neat opportunity actually. My um, music director at my church asked me if I could help him put together a virtual choir for Easter Sunday, which was just this past Sunday, actually. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I'd love to help with that. So um, members of my church choir, and myself included, all recorded ourselves, whether it was like with just microphones or with just like our phones or video recorded ourselves. And um, I collected all of those recordings and edited them and mixed them together and was able to create a really neat virtual choir. So I'm going to show you how I did that. The song that we performed was There Is a Balm in Gilead, which is an African American spiritual, actually, and this particular arrangement was arranged by R. Kevin Bosiger and Mary McDonald. For this project, I worked in Reaper. Um, so I'm going to just play what I have for you and then go through kind of what I did and then also go through the mastering process. So let's take a listen.
There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sick
All right, so as you can see over here, I have all of my tracks like arranged with the piano track on top and then voice parts from highest to lowest. And then I have a reverb bus down here. So after I had received all of my recordings and put them into Reaper, one of the first things I did was line all of them up with the piano track. So, you know, it's in time and everything. One of the next things I did was I went through just each voice, just listening through for any like pops or like page turns or cracks, basically like any noise that would be really distracting. I just went through and just like chop stuff out. Then I went through and just threw an EQ on everything. And at first I just threw on like a clean sweep on everyone just to kind of like start out with getting some frequencies that I didn't want in there just out. Um, so after I threw a simple EQ on everybody, I went through and applied pitch correction to everyone. And so this is just my track. Just used retune and just went through and applied pitch correction honestly just throughout for everybody, just throughout their entire um, recording. I personally have a tendency to be like a little sharp in some areas. If there were any spots that pitch correction like couldn't really like help um, with the intonation, then I just went ahead and just like cut some parts out because I mean, there's only so much you can do like sometimes, you know? So I did some of that throughout. Um, and then the next thing after I kind of went through that, I went through and like with a fine tooth comb, I kid you not, I wanted to make sure that that the entrances and mainly the entrances were aligned with each other, and also the hard ending consonants, so any like T's or S's, like those sounds that are just really hard, and if they're not lined up it just doesn't sound that great. So I went through, let me see if I can find a place. yes. So this is like a good spot. So um, the phrases, but then the Holy Spirit, and Spirit has that hard T at the end. And I spent quite some time lining up the ending consonants. So I'll solo the sopranos so you can hear.
The Holy Spirit, revive.
So, and then I'll add in my altos. This is pretty much what I did. I went through each voice part to make sure the voice parts were together, and then added, and then just made sure everything was lined up.
The Holy Spirit, revive.
Um, and let me just go ahead and add in all the guys.
Holy Spirit, revive.
In the event that somebody was too early with an ending or too late with an ending, I would just like fade out the, or like cut off like the hard T and kind of fade out to it, so you wouldn't hear like like all over the place. Something else that I looked out for was if people breathed where they weren't supposed to breathe. I tried to correct it as much as I could. So here's an example right here. Sarah took a breath where nobody else, like nobody else took a breath. And so what I was able to do though, this particular phrase, there is a balm, the sopranos sing it a little earlier in the song. And so I was able, and with the exact same rhythms and the exact same pitches, I was able to take um, part of an earlier take. Honestly, I can't remember exactly where it is.
There is a balm.
Found it. It's that take right there. That there is a balm, and I was able to like kind of cut it out, copy it, and then paste it right here. And I'll just have her.
Oh, there is a balm.
So like you can still kind of hear like where like that breath is, but against everybody else, it's not not as noticeable, which was my goal, was to make it as seamless as possible. So that honestly was majority of my time editing, was to get really like the fine, to kind of go through everything with a fine tooth comb and make sure things were aligned, make sure things were in tune as best as possible. To finish up here, I'm going to play with Isotope Ozone 9 for mastering this. I have it pretty much where it's going to be, but I need to master it still. So I'm going to just go through the presets. I actually haven't really used this before, so this is going to be learning experience. So they have a lot of different ones. In your face. Okay, I don't want that. Gentle, exciting. I don't know, that's kind of makes me curious. What does this mean? All right, let's see how this sounds.
There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded
Bypassed.
whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sick
That
soul.
actually sounds like really nice. So I like that one. Let's see if there's another one. Warm mid-range. Oh, vocal richness. Let's try this one out.
If you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, just tell the love of Jesus and say He died for all.
Okay, so guys, I settled on this one, vocal richness.
There is a light, there is a light in the
Oh, it's so pretty. Well, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.